You are now listening to the I Do What I Do podcast with your host, Mitch, episode 11 Teenage Love. Man, I tried to do this like one take. It took a long time. The video recording app was just like being very unresponsive, but yes, we're going to do this all over again. Hello. We are back. We got a great episode for y'all. We'll be talking about a couple loves I've had during my teen years. One being Drake music, which yes, we will be discussing his newest album, For All the Dogs, and the other being a very special friend of mine whose birthday was just yesterday. But yes, let's dive in to Drake music first because everybody wants the dogs first. You already know you all want the dogs first, so let's get into the dogs. Let's start off with basically explaining my overview and fandom of Drake music, how well expertise I am in this field. For the last 12 or so years, when people think of me, the first thing they think of is, oh, the biggest Drake fan I personally know, per se. You know, before Take Care, I was honestly a casual listener of Drake. First song I've ever heard from him was Best I Ever Had, like many of you have as well, where I would personally annoy the living hell of my cousin Melissa rapping along the hook of the song. Thank Me Later, I knew a few tracks off the album, but didn't listen to it beginning to end till after Take Care. I had Over, Find Your Love, and Miss Me on my iPod Shuffle, which I still have, by the way. It was given to me by my Uncle Eddie. Those iPod shuffles that you get on eBay, they just break within 2 months. I need to get a new iPod shuffle. Hopefully they got a more stable one. One song I listened to all the time off the album was Shut It Down. Bruh, I loved Shut It Down. I listened to that song all the damn time while surfing the web freshman year in high school. That song was the best. So what made me turn into the craze friends, acquaintances, and complete strangers would mostly know me as during my Twitter days. My handle would be Mitch Ovio. Yep, Mitch Ovio. So I was on the verge of committing suicide back in 2011, and during that time, Drake was bound to release Take Care, so I did get my hands on Take Care, which was leaked on YouTube. That album literally changed my life, more so saved my life. I feel the one song off that album that really hit me to the core was Look What You've Done. I felt the lyrics of that song really brought my spirit out of the grave that my mind was literally encouraging myself to be in. I love Take Care and what that album has done for me in my personal life, but that album was incredible where it really turned me into a diehard fan of his. I mean, I've seen this man literally 6 times live in concert. I'm going to repeat that again. I've seen Drake 6 times in concert. From the New Year's show in Vegas 2012, which me and my mom did go to that concert together. I think it was like a 18 and up plus concert. Plus, my mom didn't trust the fact to leave me alone at a rap concert by myself, so she came along. She liked the concert, by the way. She liked Drake. To Club Paradise tour, to Would You Like a Tour, to Drake versus Lil Wayne, which me and my mom drove out of town for in San Diego for. I went by myself. To Heartbreak Weekend in Vegas, where me and my OVO brother, my family, Charles Hill, got to experience front stage together, where I stood in line for 5 to 6 hours. That was a surreal experience for us indeed, man. He performed at like a small hotel pool, so it was very rare for an artist like Drake to perform at a very small venue of his, and man, we lucked out, man. We definitely lucked out. And lastly, Summer 16 tour in 2016. Bruh, I've seen this dude 5 times floor seats. My first time seeing him was balcony, and from then on I was like, nope, I need to see this man strictly 4 seats only, as back then 4 seats for Drake would cost roughly 150 plus. Club Paradise tour I went with my brother Nick Bizoff, completely free because he had to connect with from MGM Grand. Would you like a tour? I paid $150 for floor. I paid $325 Drake versus Lil Wayne, which that included VIP. We had a very nice VIP lounge with a video game, those video game arcade style video game thing, and there was food offered as well. It was very cool. And Heartbreak Weekend, man, I lucked out paying I think 175. I do recall it being like 150, 175. I lucked out, man. I got 'em immediately the first day they went on sale, and then they jacked up the prices. Rightfully so. It's a very, very small venue, general admission seating only, so I understood. But man, I lucked out paying that price. Then Summer 16, I paid $300 VIP package. But yeah, I could have seen Drake at least 7, 8 times. I originally had tickets for Aubrey and the Three Amigos tour. Then I sold them off, making $100 plus in profit because I didn't feel like seeing the Migos, and I wasn't too crazy about Scorpion, so that's why I sold them off. I wanted to go to It's All Blur tour. However, 21 Savage is horrible live. He's dreadfully horrible live. He's very corny live. He's nothing like he sounds like in the studio. He's just like he sounds like a straight up nerd, in my opinion. I know 21. You're gonna threaten my life. Okay, I get it, but you do sound corny live. I'm sorry, but more so it was because $400+ for balcony seats. $400 plus for balcony seats. I'm sorry, Drake is not worth $400+ in balcony seats. As great of a performer Drake is, he is not worth $400+ in balcony seats. And I watched the live show on YouTube, and I can tell you one thing: that was not a $400+ worth performance. It wasn't. I think if it was on the floor, sure, but $400+ no. I pass. I've seen this guy 6 times. I don't need to see him again. I'm an adult now. I gotta make responsible decisions. But yeah, man, I've had some incredible memories, made some great friends along the way, met and got acquainted with some cool people, all through the expense of listening to Drake music. Drake will always have a special place in my life where when things go very south for me in my life personally, I at least had music to go to cope or brighten up my mood, man. I thank Drake for all he's done for me in life, man. He's done some great things for my life. Done some great things. When it comes to my perception of Drake music, I feel early on my criticism approach with Drake music has been handled and received as a source of consistency where not only fans of his music can go to, but more so people that generally liked music can go to as well. Like, with all due respect, I don't consider myself a biased Drake fan at all. I have never said all his music is a 10 out of 10 other than Take Care. However, during, say, from So Far Gone mixtape to More Life, the man went on an epic music run that was unheard of in rap music, especially. I think I feel like only Kanye West was able to accomplish this sort of epic run in terms of like releasing like great music on a consistent basis. You could say Kendrick Lamar, but I'm not too crazy about To Pimp a Butterfly. I'm not too crazy about it. I still think it's a decent project. Which, that's my personal opinion. If you love To Pimp a Butterfly, good for you. But that's my personal opinion. But yeah, I feel like only Kanye was on this type of run that Drake was on. Especially track-wise. I didn't hear a single bad song from Drake until Drake hopped on a Lemon remix with Rihanna. Oh my god, that song is horrible. That's how extremely consistent this man was as an artist during this run. Like, he couldn't do no wrong on any song, literally. So Far Gone was really good. Thank Me Later was really good. God forbid. Take Care was perfection in my opinion. Nothing Was the Same was great. If you're reading this, It's Too Late was fantastic. What a Time to Be Alive was good. Views, I feel, has aged particularly well. So it's a good project. More Life, I feel, is extremely underrated in my personal opinion. Like, it's a really good album from Free Smoke to passion fruit to I cannot tell who is my friend. Like, there's a lot of good tunes on that album, man. It's a really good project. I mean, that project run, in all seriousness, I don't think it can ever be replicated ever again in rap music moving forward. The consistency, the hype, especially the appeal of it all. I mean, for crying out loud, we were all glued onto a freaking radio station to listen to the premiere of What a Time to Be Alive and More Life, for crying out loud. Name another artist that can bring that same anticipation where you bring people to tune into a radio show where people were not into radio or podcasting at the time. Come on, people need to come to reality and realize how Drake truly revolutionized rap as a genre, because the man knew how to make tunes that worked for all demographics, whether you were into rap or you wanted some melody as you feel tuning into R&B, and whether you want to claim Drake as a culture vulture, you can at least appreciate the fact he was open to trying out new sounds or introduce a style to the world where he did put on a lot of intriguing artists we now know today, including the most popular artist known to man, The Weeknd. You don't have to like Drake music, but I feel people are blindsided by what greatness he brought to the music scene. You know? I feel where my criticism of Drake's music was now becoming to be taken seriously was Scorpion and everything released after that. Because now I began to be a little more critical of his music since it did digress. Scorpion, to me, while I do believe there was a solid Drake project in there, however, the album itself was way too long. Too many songs, some throwaways that didn't need to be there. There is a dope album in Scorpion, no doubt, when constructed and organized. I mean, there are definitely highlights in there for sure, like, Summer Games, Jaded, Mob Ties, After Dark. Like, there's a handful of good-ass songs on that project, but man, it's just way too freaking long and overbearing for sure. Dark Lane demo tapes. When it was released during 2020, I feel it's passable. Like, Drake gave us something to keep our minds at float while we were all suffering mentally cooped up in the house. There's some highlights, but at the end of the day, it's a decent project at best. Certified Lover Boy. I feel at the time it was just fine because similar issues I had with the last two projects. However, I feel it's aged properly, as now I found the project to be good. I mean, majority of the project, while you could say there's most certainly goofiness within that project, it still maintains to have a very good, consistent music where majority of the tracks are bangers or are soulful, good R&B tunes. Like, I listen to I Miss You Too featuring Kid Cudi all the damn time. Into Deep, TSU, like Pipe Down. There's some good tracks on there, man. I like I like the project now. I like Certified Lover Boy. Honestly, never mind. I discussed this on the Gaming Pop podcast with Chuck and Jorian. Check that episode out. I love this project. I feel it's on one of my personal faves. I enjoy the fact Drake took on a whole new direction where you feel for the first time since More Life, he actually gave a shit about music, where he is thoroughly enjoying himself and trying to create a unique sound in the process. It was a fun project through and through for once. It was properly constructed where it's not over bloated, where it just had just the right amount of songs. Like, it felt refreshing. I get why people didn't care for it. It was very different. It was very unique from what they've listened to in the past. But I don't know, man. Honestly, never mind. It just works for me. It works for me. Great project. Her Loss was a fun project. I'm surprised he did a joint project with 21 Savage. Out of all people, knowing good and well we've been anticipating an OVOXO project, or heck, Drake and Kanye was going to do a project. But yeah, the best he can give us was 21 Savage. I just want an OVOXO collab album. I know we're not going to get it now, but a man can dream, can he? But still, Her Loss was a lot of fun. Hours in Silence for the first couple minutes is an incredible, mesmerizing experience. I love Hours in Silence. Now that we know where I stand about every single project, oh yeah, a care package. It's just tunes Drake dropped during the SoundCloud era. Of course, that's a great collection of music, no doubt. It is. Let's finally talk about For All the Dogs, shall we? Woof, 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 woof. All right, For All the Dogs. So, through the span of 25 months, this is Drake's fourth full-length project release, which the previous three, he's actually on a consistent run. I feel at this point in time, there's a good comment made about expectations within Drake's music. Meaning not only to have reasonable expectations, even considering he's dropped three solid projects previously, but you always have to have considerable expectations that, hey, it may not be great at first, may not be this, maybe not be that, you know. However, sometimes you have to put into perspective that Drake really has put himself into a difficult circumstance in terms of pleasing a very diverse demographic for his crowd, especially. Drake has to appease to those whom have followed Drake the longest that want to hear the old Drake that they loved growing up. Drake has to please to the girl demographic where they want to hear him sing moody tunes. Drake has to please to those that want to hear Drake spit bar for bar. Drake has to please to the new school crowd where they want to hear music of today, considering Drake has been willing to take on as many trendy sounds to please to a younger demographic. So sometimes I feel when you're in Drake's mind, you feel an immense amount of pressure. Think to yourself, now how the hell am I going to please all these damn people while maintaining full focus on making a project within a direction and sound? The answer is simple. You can't. You're going to have people cry and whine on the internet regardless because people are aggravating and hard to please to begin with. That's why as an artist, just make whatever the hell you want and be happy with it. Even if people don't care for it, at least it's a project or a song you made where you can be proud that, hey, I made this because I felt this is what I wanted to make, not what others want me to make for them. As I feel, with that being said, as I've said earlier, this album feels like that where it doesn't really have much of a direction. It's all over the place. You can clearly tell Drake is scrambling to appease to every demographic there is, as there's zero sense of clear, consistent direction going on in this project as a whole. Now, I took a good week to thoroughly listen and to properly critique this album. I feel, especially now knowing there are projects Drake has made in the past where it needed time to age and process, that indeed it does bring yourself enjoying it more as time goes on. I feel you can't properly critique Drake's music where post What a Time to Be Alive off at first listen. You can't critique it off at first listen. You got to give it some listens and let it sit for a bit till you get a proper, clear perspective on it. So I did just that, as within the first listen, I was honestly disappointed as hell, claiming this is the worst project he's released. However, as time and listens went on, thankfully, this album has grown on me a little bit. I don't think it's great by any means. However, this album has its moments, surely. From a sound perspective, Drake is mostly known for his sound. Drake tries to generate listenable tunes you can bump to, whether you're out and about at a function, club, kickback, party, bar, whatever. Like, he wants you to have a grand old good time, forgetting your current troubles or whatever the hell is going on in your life. Like, Drake doesn't talk about, political stuff or the world stuff, where J. Cole and Kendrick fans have complained about Drake or try to debate, like, who's the GOAT between those three. It's about, well, he doesn't talk about real stuff. Like, that's because Drake doesn't want to talk about that stuff in his music. Drake wants you to just have a good time and have relatable content when it comes to, relationship problems stuff. That's who Drake is. And personally, I don't want Drake to be like J. Cole and Kendrick. I want Drake to be what Drake wants him to be. You know what I mean? He doesn't need to be like those guys. And I don't want him to be like those guys. I like Drake because I like Drake music for Drake music. I don't want to hear Drake music being like for Kendrick music or J. Cole music. Let Drake just be Drake. You know what I mean? Drake also tries to generate soulful music where you're tuning in at 3 a.m. thinking of your discography of women you've dated, had a crush, or frick, liked in the past, thinking to yourself, why am I not loving this woman right now? I swear, there are women that come up about in my mind where I haven't thought about for a second, but when Drake gets into his R&B sound, my mind suddenly brings about my entire woman history and thinking, sheesh, Taylor from 6th grade's best friend Taylor at the time. Good Lord, I really should have proceed my romantic intentions with you instead of Sydney, because sheesh, you were perfect through and through. My God, you know what I mean? But you get the point. Drake's moral focus is generating quality sound. For crying out loud, his label is OVO Sound. We think of 40, especially that has generated incredible production on this project. As well as I will say, the sound on here is solid yet again in producing quality production. I like the beats and such. The beat switches were good and caught me off guard, especially on IDGAF featuring Yeet, which we'll get into that song. Drake's vocals sound mostly good. The soulful R&B sounds really good in moments. Lyrical speaking, I mean, it's not Lil Wayne bad, at least. I know I'm going to catch heat for saying Lil Wayne bad in lyrical-wise, but I'm talking about further into his career. Like, Lil Wayne further into his career. Lyrics-wise, he was terrible. Like, with here, at least there is comprehensible bar structure and complete sentences going on. But lyrically, it's something, I guess. Sometimes Drake will deliver really good lyric structure in, for example, 8 a.m. in Charlotte. Then there are times where you're just like, did he really just say that? It feels to me ironic enough. Drake is on his R. Kelly vibe on this project. I say ironic because Drake judges a woman for listening to R. Kelly in the whip, which we'll get into that in just a bit. But what I was referring to is R. Kelly could just sing about just about any ridiculous thing possible as no one would question it. It's because, somehow R. Kelly could generate a listenable vocally electric tune. R. Kelly would sing about things like about Cookie Monster, love letters, trapped in a closet, and somehow nobody would question it because he could just deliver a vocally electric tune out of these ridiculous things he was talking about. As with this project, Drake knows nobody, no matter how ridiculous he can be on some of the songs on this project, at the end of the day, it doesn't freaking matter because people will eat it up and somehow love it at the end of the day, which that's what kind of power Drake has in the music game, which only a rare few artists can accomplish this power where they can just rap and sing about just about any ridiculous thing you're thrown at, and somehow it'll still sound like good music at the end of the day. As you notice it quite a bit in this project especially. Let's get this off our chest. As of right now, the reception of this album isn't received well. It's because broken promises were made. Drake claimed fans should be excited about For All the Dogs because old Drake is coming back. Bish, where? Where's Joe old Drake? I don't see it that much. Yeah, there is a song or two that does bring us an old Drake vibe. Tried Our Best, where you feel this can belong on an older project of his, or the Chop and Screwed track, Screw the World interlude, that does mimic November 18th, which that song felt wasted potential, honestly. However, claiming old Drake is coming back is a massive promise, and that promise was not in any way fulfilled, so of course people are going to get pissed off, rightly so. Like, come on, you cannot promise that old Drake is coming back, and it's clearly not back in this project. And there's another broken promise. Lil Yachty claimed Drake's best bars of his career is coming on this project. With all due respect, excuse me, what does Lil Yachty know about what a good bar is? I'm dead serious. He's got a little boat, Lil Yachty. He's got a couple good tunes here and there, but we can all agree, as a rapper, he's not very good. So how the hell does Yachty know what a good bar is? I'm dead serious. What does he know about good bars? So I guess as a broken promise, you could say, well, that wasn't a reliable promise. Especially like, yeah, man, this is good bars. But, bro, you don't know what a good bar is to begin with. Yeah. Another failed promise, as I like how Drake threw this man under the bus. Oh, for all the dogs couldn't have been what it was if Lil Yachty didn't have involvement in it, which is translation for, yo, if you don't like this project, it's Lil Yachty's fault. I know what you did there, Drake. I know what you did there. Let's go over my personal favorites off this project. The intro track, Virginia Beach. I really enjoy this song from a sound and vocals perspective. I love the Frank Ocean Wise Man sample on this, followed by a very angelic beat that really brings forward the emotional, soulful tone we want to hear from Drake. A strong intro, it's what you wanted to hear to start off a new Drake album, no doubt. And I really love the fact that Drake was on a very consistent, steady R&B flow on this. Like, I really enjoy it. Like, it's very, very nice. Good, great intro. I think it's better than 21. Can you do something for me? From Her Loss. I think it's better than Falling Back. I think it's one of the better intros of the past, like, what, 3 or 4 or 5 projects. I really enjoy it a lot. Another personal favorite is the follow-up song Amen featuring Tiso Touchdown. Tiso Touchdown, man. Like later on in 7969, Santa absolutely bodies his 2 appearances on this album. He is def on the come up as an artist to watch out for. Just has a terrific sound, but is also a versatile artist that can just come about, do anything, and create a unique sound whenever it's required him to do so. I love the line, praying, you find a man that's gonna treat you like I can. Because damn, that line was made specifically for me. Excellent vocal range from Tiso on this track. I enjoyed Drake's bar play on this track as well. Complements the tone on this track. I enjoyed Bahama's Promises simply because Drake is bringing back his old school, emotionally tied R&B sound on this particular track. Could lyrics and subject matter be on a more suitable, relationship subject matter? In a way, sure, but however, I feel like that's a little bit nitpicky. Sometimes a man or a woman can screw up on a vacation trip you plan with your significant other where you feel like relaxing and enjoying without any complications in the mix. However, you can't help but adore the sound on this track. There is so much emotion and vocal range going on in this track that you feel at pure ease within yourself while listening to as a whole. I loved Tried Our Best. Kind of reminds me of old Drake. Preferably that one unreleased tune, Go Out Tonight. Check that one out on YouTube or wherever. Lovely track. The melody and vocals on this track feels like Drake is floating on ease. Special track. Drew Picasso is another top tier track for me. Sound, melody, vocals sound pretty nice on this one. Speaking of Drew Picasso, the R. Kelly line. Did Drake just compare the girl that he's dating, whom has a problem with him going to a strip club while he's dating this woman, to Drake having a problem with the girl he's dating listening to R. Kelly in the whip? What is Drake thinking? How in any way does one think both offenses is comparable? Like, where is the logic behind this comparison? Of course, if you're dating a woman and you're going out experiencing naked women dancing on a pole, giving lap dances on men's crotches, no shit, the woman you're dating is going to have a problem with this, rightfully so. If you could go out and about watching women dance naked while throwing dollar bills at them, which you should be throwing your dollar bills with the woman that you're dating with on, like, romantic dates and evenings and such, how is a woman going to trust the fact you're not going behind their back and being with other women in the process? If you're content with seeing other naked women while seeing someone, maybe you shouldn't be going out with someone in the first place. How does a woman listening to R. Kelly affect your dating status in any way? Which, by the way, Drake is a full-blown hypocrite. The man sampled an R. Kelly song on TSU, for crying out loud. So I don't want to hear, well, girl, you feel it's wrong for me to see naked girls at a strip club, but what about you, huh? You listen to R. Kelly, so you're just as bad as me. What? What? You know why Drake did this? We all know damn well why Drake said this. Drake was trying to be like, you see, girls? I care about women because I don't condone R. Kelly music. Dude is a straight up deviant for this. I know exactly what the hell he was doing there. I still like the song. It's a vibe. But man, that bar is so damn stupid. He tried to compare him going to a strip club not being a problem, but her listening to R. Kelly in the whip. Oh my God. What the hell's wrong with Drake? All the parties. Yes, this is a jam for me. Chief Keef being on a Drake song is crazy. I know the homie Devon the Sav is somewhere crying his boy so hopped on a Drake song. For all you Vegas folks out there, you remember Devon the Sav. That man was ruthless on Twitter. But I tell you, in person, he was a nice guy. He was a very nice, innocent guy. But he had a whole different persona online. Oh, God. I hope Devon is doing well. I think he has a kid now. I don't know if he's married to, was it Asia or Isaiah? Something. I don't remember. I couldn't pronounce it. I enjoyed the hook of this song, especially I felt the beat switch up was cool. Just felt like a house party kind of vibe for me on this particular tune. The Pet Shop Boys. Yeah, the lyrics were being used without getting any credit. That was messed up in my opinion. Gotta pay homage to them guys. I enjoy West End Girls. I personally loved It's a Sin, which was the opening track in Blinded by the Light, a film from 2019. That film is fantastic, by the way. But yeah, It's a Sin is a dope track by Pet Shop Boys too. I really enjoyed the closed out song Polar Opposites. For a closing song for the album as a whole, yeah, it can feel not properly fitting given the vibe and the direction of this project. However, still was a very nice tune to listen to on a late night thinking about old teens and such. I enjoy this one. Honorable mentions. IDGAF featuring Yeet was surprisingly enjoyable. Knowing I don't care for Yeet at all, I think he's a bit insufferable, even though I liked Flawless with Lil Uzi Vert of his. This unexpected collab, however, was kind of fun. I liked the intro before Yeet came in and the beat switched off. It was like, it was like, oh, this is nice. This is a very nice, lovely tune. And then the beat switched off. It was pretty nice for a good minute. But then it became this full-on rager event. It was a lot of fun. It was fun. What Would Pluto Do was kind of fun too. I liked Rich Baby Daddy minus Sexy Red. SZA was popping off on it for sure. That was cool. Club bopper for me. I like what was it? Another Late Night or something like that. Let me look really quick. I think it was another Late Night. That's what it was called. Another Late Night featuring. That was a fun dumb track to listen to. It's another late night with my doll. It's another late night with my mission. It was fun. It was a fun track. Let's talk about my least favorites. We're gonna talk about this song. Oh my god, I hate it. Gently featuring Bad Bunny. That song is horrible. And I don't know how people can stand this song. Oh, because everybody's on their Bad Bunny, Drake wave, but bro, we need to come into reality. This song sucks. It's easily the worst song on this entire album. Now, in the past, Drake and Bad Bunny has made a deaf Latin club banger with Mia, as Drake tapped Bad Bunny in because he's arguably one of the most famous Latin artists there is. The man put up some serious numbers with Un Verano Sin Ti. Sorry if my Spanish sucks. I got C in Spanish freshman year, but yeah. Which, by the way, that was a really good album. I really enjoyed that album a lot. So I get why Drake tapped him into this album, because he wants to chart, he wants to buy in streams and such. But bro, this song is the biggest miss on the entire album, and everyone should agree. What the hell was that? Drake was pulling on some like weird accent he's trying to do while speaking Spanish. It was just very, very weird and wrong. It doesn't sound genuine like Audio on Romeo Santos or Mia with Bad Bunny. It sounded like the culture vulture accusations Drake has been receiving for the past years. It just sounded so freaking bad and embarrassing. Bad Bunny, he can make a good tune here and there when he's feeling on his more softer melody side, but his rapping can at times be totally unbearable and completely obnoxious, as in Gently he brings back that vibe as, oh my lord. Bad Bunny sounded terrible on this track. It sounded terrible. I mean, Drake couldn't capture what Travis Scott did with Bad Bunny on K-pop. Now that song is dope. That's a dope song all across the board. I'm not for censorship, but good lord, someone burn this damn song out of existence. What a baffling decision to have this atrocity on the record. Let's talk about a couple of baffling moments on this album. Other than the R. Kelly strip club comparison and Gently. Oh man, how about that 1 minute and 20-second rant made in Calling for You featuring 21 Savage by that woman? Did that make your ears bleed and your hope for humanity decline a bit? Good lord. First off, the whole rant about flying economy and first class. Why is this a big deal? If your airfare is being paid for, who cares if you're flying economy or first class? We got people around the world struggling and suffering all across the world, and you're crying about not flying in first class. Girls, shut up and be grateful you get to go on vacation without paying a dime. That's why generosity is slowly digressing in this culture, because women like this ruin for everyone else, where people are constantly pocket watching because, sheesh, are people worth giving for these days when you got someone like this throwing a fit over like literally nothing, over an act of generosity? Like, this reminds me of this one time back in 2022. I was about to date this 29-year-old woman. I was about to go out on a date with this 29-year-old woman, and she threw a massive fit because I wasn't driving. Meanwhile, she didn't have a car and she couldn't drive either. And I was more than open to accommodate the Uber fares so we could go out, dinner and a movie. I was going to pay for that too. But she made a big deal. It's like, well, in my country, it was normal to not be able to drive, not have a car. But in this country, it's not normal. Like, girl, shut your damn ass up. Like, you're not doing it. You can't drive. You don't have a car. In Florida, you could just ride your bike everywhere. That's why I did. Like I said before, I do more for the environment than any of these environmental activists. But besides that point, girl, you're in the same boat as me. You can't drive. You don't have a car. I'm literally accommodating. I'm paying for the Uber fares, which that's probably going to cost me around 120 plus. And I'm paying for another like 75 to 100 plus in dinner and a movie. What's the big deal? Be grateful. Be grateful of my generosity. And you know what I did? I'm like, no, I'm not talking to this girl anymore. I'm not going to take her out anymore. What's the point? What's the point? You're going to act like a child like this? Like, damn. Bring back the grateful women of this world. Bring back the grateful people in this world. I can't stand. It's getting very, very hard for me to be generous nowadays. I love being generous. Don't get me wrong. I love to spoil women and whatnot. Like to spoil my friends. You can even ask Bobby Bender, Casey Johnson, and how much I spoil those two. But yeah, man, it's like, bro, bring back the grateful people. It's ridiculous how superficial and selfish and self-centered people are today. It's disgusting. But, I understand why Drake put this on this album, to show us why it's hard for him to commit. How the hell do you commit to a girl like this? You know what the saddest part is, while listening to this girl talk? You can tell in her voice she's probably hot from a look standpoint. Like, this is how, when you hear the girl talk like this, it's like, oh, she's probably a hot girl. I can already tell. What's another baffling moment on this album? A lot of gay bars on this album. What is that supposed to mean, huh? What's your problem? You got a problem with gay people or something? No, like, shut the hell up. Shut the hell up. We get it. You're offended by everything. Shut up. No, I'm genuinely speaking. There is gay bars on this album. Let me sing it to y'all. I might be bi because you're like one of the guys, girl. Say you like girls now. Say it to me in a straight house. We're out in the club with your gay friends. Put you on a straight flight. Like, yeah, there's actual gay bars on this album. I'm surprised that community hasn't lost its mind yet this time around. Remember Girls Want Girls, where Drake rapped, say you lesbian, girl, me too. Like, girls want girls like girls. That community acted like it was the end of the world when he rapped that bar. I don't know, man. The Girls Want Girls bar felt like a man who just loved the idea of a woman being lesbian, bi, simply because the purpose of satisfying these unstable sexual fantasies of a threesome, which more than most men in 18 and early 20s. This is what you expect from a man. This is what you expect. But Drake made that song at 34. Who's going to set up an intervention for Drake? Mom, Dad, Chubbs, 40. What are you guys doing here? Drake, we need to have a talk. Sit down. What are you guys doing here? Drake, you're 36. It's time to stop rapping and saying like you're a frat boy in your 20s. No, you can't make me. Drake, you have a child now. It's time to act like a grown-up. It's time to get yourself involved in a committed relationship that's leading to marriage. No! Oh, no! I'm not doing that, man! No! We gotta set that intervention up. Anyhow, the gay bars here are they just come off completely random. Did someone who was gay ruin a relationship Drake had with a girl or something? I had that happen to me with the last girl I had a relationship with. The guy was a complete douchebag. Holy crap, was he a douchebag? But hey, that man was responsible for getting me out of a toxic relationship. So cheers to him, I guess. Good job. Kind of feels like in a way, Drake is just toying with that community at this point. Oh, yeah? You try to cancel me for saying I'm a lesbian for liking girls? Well, that generated more streams and revenue. I'm going to do it again just to piss you guys off and get more streams. Whoa! Drake is something else, I tell you. Petty. Very petty. So what's my biggest takeaway For All the Dogs? I feel Drake's frustrations with women is starting to get to him just a tad bit. As in this album, he's consistently complaining about his exes or recent women he's been out with recently. Drake is about to turn 37. He's literally in the age period where you feel the need. It's time to settle down and focus on building a future with a significant other, developing into a marriage as to hope to raise a family and enjoy the many decades you'll have with that person you love. Drake rapping about the bachelor life where it feels that as if he's holding on to the young 20s where he's going on and about having one night stands and increasing his body count to God knows what number that is now. You don't think he's pissed off a little bit that he hasn't found that special someone to where he could finally be tied down to, given the success and generational wealth he's endured over the years? He may not admit it's bothering him, but pointing out the disses and shots he's made against his exes, in which one of them she has settled down to raise kids of her own, aka Rihanna, and the sex was average with you, auntie, I'm anti you. The sex was average with you, which, by the way, how is sex average? I'm a virgin, so I don't know how sex is, but I can tell you, if you're emotionally tied and have a mutual, genuine connection with someone, I feel like sex can't be average. Sex has to be this out of body, beautiful, holy matrimony experience. So I don't know. I feel like Drake is capping, considering the fact that Drake said, "I've been in love with this girl since I was 27 years old." I feel it's cap. This is cap, but he's just being petty. Yeah, him being a bachelor at 36, it's bothering him, man. I feel like it is. You can just tell in his voice, like he's aggravated. While I don't diss my past girls like Drake does, I can understand him. Like, you think I want to be single at 28? The single lifestyle sucks. I hate it. Well, you got this freedom where you can save a lot of money and you can talk to whoever you want. Bruh, shut up. Single life is not the life for me. My only valid purpose in life is to be tied down and given a girl 110% love and affection for, spoiling the crap out of her. I'm with you, Drake. The single life sucks. So sure, Drake is going to feel petty and feel the need to point the blame game at others why things didn't work out between him and all these other women in the past. It does feel like Drake is entering a bit of a midlife crisis, while he feels a bit lost without a significant other, as he's currently clinging onto youth, which people will give him the hall pass given how much money he has and such. Like, he's like, oh well, you don't need to grow up, you don't need to grow as a human being, you're rich, you don't have to do that. But what good is money if you're not progressing within your spirit as a person? In a way, as you could tell from this album, Drake is in severely in need to be tied down, but also he has indeed trust issues and such, where he doesn't want to commit to a woman that doesn't fully appreciate all he does. Calling for You is a grand example of that, like I said earlier. So I can understand why Drake is having difficulty in committing into a relationship that could lead into marriage, because women nowadays, and this is entirely social media's fault, this is entirely rap music and even music in general, pop music especially too, that we condone this type of toxic, self-centered, selfish behavior, where women are acting like, oh, well, I can't date you unless you have this. I can't date you if you don't give me all this. I can't date you. It's like, we can't, this music, Drake especially, you kind of are at the fault of why women, and sometimes you could say men especially too, are completely self-centered and selfish. Like men too. It's like, well, I can't date this woman if she is in this way, doesn't have a fat ass and this and body figures, and she's got to be pretty, and she's got to, know how to do this, and, well, not know how to do that, because men don't care about women not knowing how to clean and cook nowadays. I feel like that's a basic thing to know, even if you're a man too. Like, everyone should know how to clean and cook to the bare minimum. But yeah, it's like men don't even care about women having skills anymore. It's like, the only skill I care about when it comes to a woman is knowing how to do it right in the bed. Ha 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 ha. Like, look at the toxic culture you guys have created. It's getting really bad. It's getting really, really bad. In conclusion, for all the dogs, while it did grew into my liking over the course of time, there are some bright spots within this album here and there where it's mostly a listenable project. However, I feel the directionless approach where Drake is literally all over the place within this project with very questionable wordplay and weak bar structure leaves this album one of his weakest project of his career. I don't know where it stands as far as like album rankings, but it's kind of like one of the the low of the lows for me. Is it horrible? No, I don't think so at all. But for the anticipation and claims of what this project was bound to be, it is in a way a slight disappointment compared to his past few entries. I'm giving this album a 5 out of 10. I felt it was a decent project. Not too sure how it matches up to the rest of his discography, but I can tell you it's not ranking high. I can tell you that much. You know, Drake is now going on a 1-year hiatus due to health reasonings, mainly in the stomach area that he's been dealing with for quite some time, as he said. I feel this break is much needed, not only by a health standpoint, but more so him as an artist. This project is clear indication Drake within himself is worn out and is not entirely sure just how to approach music. More so, as an artist, he feels a bit misguided. I hope this time away from music brings him back to being driven to create a unique work of art where it doesn't feel he's chasing after social trends, that it does have a story to tell as well, because how much longer are we going to condone to ABC's The Bachelor? Not saying he has to be married, but I will say this whole Playboy Bachelor charade of a man being 37 generating music where you feel it's a 21-year-old talking is a bit concerning. Where's the growth? Like, really, where is the personal growth? Not saying Drake needs to make Intel music where you need to be educated to listen to this, like a dipshit J. Cole fan would say. But what I am saying is Drake needs to develop himself more as a person to where there is a sense of real maturity going on within himself as a person. Pettiness should be left in the past where it needs to die, not celebrate like the fools of this generation does ever so much. Take care, Aubrey. Take care, Drake. Take care, Champagne Poppy. Take care, OVO's October's very own. The music world will miss you from your time away. Rest up, my G. Enjoy yourself. How long did we talk about this album? 52 minutes. It's time to talk about another teenage love of mine. Man, Taylor Elhami just turned 26 yesterday. For those that don't know who Taylor Elhami is, she can be perfectly be described as the center of my universe, junior year of high school. I feel like I've told this story many times before. Whether it be the autobiography, whether it be, what's it called? One weekly roundup episode on Strictly Films movie reviews. But, you know, the first time I met Taylor was back in 2012 on a Friday around mid-May, as I was gearing up to meet up with her aunt Melanie, whom was 3 years older than Taylor, whom I had a crush on sophomore year. So this day was a big deal considering it was our first time hanging out outside of high school, and we were going out swimming. I went inside Melanie's condo where I was waiting on Melanie to get done getting ready and whatnot. Out of nowhere, a random girl just came randomly out from upstairs as she greeted me with a big hi, along with the biggest smile, as I thought, who the hell is that? She's cute. That's literally how me and Taylor met. She didn't join us at the pool along with Mikey and I believe Diego and Paulina joined us that day. Not too sure why Taylor didn't, but that's a whole other story. You know, when I trace back to this low memory, I feel in doubt if I ever would have known Taylor's existence any further if it wasn't for Mikey. I say this because other than being partially acquainted with Taylor randomly at Melanie's house, how else would we have developed any sense of relevance to our lives? She went to a school that was half an hour away from me, so it's quite amazing how one significant moment would have literally changed the course of a whole school year, let alone a whole decade plus long friendship we've had. It's crazy to believe that. While at the pool, the homie Mikey was laughing up with Diego about some text he'd gotten, as I was curious what the text, since since I enjoy laughing, so I want to know what this text read. The text read, "Oh my God, Mitch is so freaking hot," with hard eye emojis, which that came from Taylor herself. If I never had seen this text, this whole Taylor romantic venture I put myself and all my friends, family, and fans of Mitchy Mitch, it would have never have existed. Let's keep that in mind. If I would have never saw that text, none of this would have happened, bro. That's crazy to believe how one lone text can change the course of life. People have assumed I was this weird guy whom was head over heels over this girl that never had a sense of attraction towards me, which in reality, she's the one that made the first indication of interest towards me. So, yes, we're all confused here. But, that's life. That's women as a whole, which we'll get more into later on. After being rejected by her Aunt Melanie, as Melanie showed Dax and me pictures of Taylor on her Instagram, I figured, let me pursue this girl. I followed her on IG. We DM each other quite a bit, as she gave me her number, as almost that entire summer of 2012, we talked almost every single day. I honestly connected with Taylor way more than I ever did with her aunt. No disrespect to Melanie. I've always cherished our friendship and the memories we've shared during our time in driver's ed class and English class. But the reason why me and her couldn't have been in a relationship is because we both are completely different people. I was mainly attracted to Melanie more so for her looks, and of course her being kind as well. She was a really sweet girl. But the problem is if we would have ever gotten into a relationship, what the hell are we even going to talk about? I know I cried 3 days straight when Melanie rejected me, but now I realize she made the right choice. We were better off as friends. We're better off. With Taylor, however, me and Taylor have so much in common, whether it be film and music, but it was easier to talk to Taylor because she had a very unique creative mind like myself, where she can be goofy like myself, so we just clicked from the start. During the summer, I kept trying to go out with her and see Pixar's Brave, but complications with her mom being strict at the time kept getting delayed and delayed. Bro, I even bought the Brave DVD for us to watch it together, which eventually I got tired of waiting and watched it myself. It was a good movie. That would have been a cute date movie to go to. Before the summer ended, I asked her to be my girlfriend. Now, when you hear that, you think to yourself, why the hell would you ask a girl you haven't been on a date with to be in a relationship with you? Well, when it came to women, my mind still thought like elementary school that you can just commit to a relationship within thin air, simply due to the fact both sides have attraction with one another. So, you just get in a relationship. That's what I was accustomed to knowing. So I didn't know that you have to go on a date and all this other BS process, like, oh, we're in the talking stage, or we're doing this stage. Like, get it over it. Well, wrap it up. Let's go. Anyways, plus Taylor has expressed in text messages she loved me too, so you understand my mind wasn't fully developed, that just because someone claims they love you doesn't mean they love you in terms of wanting a relationship with you. She rejected me respectfully, which I later on was in tears for a good day. I was battling through depression, but man, I've been a hopeless romantic, and being rejected still kills me even to this day. It just kills my self-esteem, my ego, but it just kills my heart because it's like, girl, I just want to love you. I just want to love you. And I don't want to be rejected of that love, you know what I mean? Even though I was rejected, it was the beginning for the love train. Taylor was about to get hit with her entire sophomore year. I feel like when she looks back on her sophomore year in high school, she can only think of me. Like, oh yeah, you remember when Mitch did all those things for you? Yeah, that was fun. During the beginning of the school year, we still talked every day. I got acquainted with her friends from Coronado, Cher Bear, T Rose, Kiana, April Cinco. I forgot what was Mary Clark's big sister's name, which, good God, she was so freaking rude, bro. Like, this one time I helped her out on social media because she was feeling blue. It's like, oh yeah, everything's gonna get better. She's like, ill. You don't have to help me all the time. You don't have to comfort me all the time. It's like, okay. Homecoming was around the corner, so I figured I'm gonna ask Taylor to be my homecoming date. The unexpected rap era Mitchy Mitch was coming in hot, gaining an unexpected cult following, so I figured let's make a rap song proposal and post it on YouTube, which it was recorded in my garage. We didn't have budgets to record songs. I didn't know how to record songs or record videos in like a very professional way. It had to be done in garages. She happily said yes, which was then celebrated at a Sierra Vista football game where I was carried by Drazen and Alex Kern at halftime of a football game where like 50 to 100 people chanted Mitchy Mitch, Mitchy Mitch, Mitchy Mitch. Oh my God. I hated high school, but that rap era was a ridiculous high, I must say. So homecoming to me was originally supposed to be me and Taylor's first official date. We were originally going to go to her school's homecoming, go out to dinner, go to the dance, maybe do something spectacular after around the strip or wherever there was a fun date spot to go after. I was going to get a limo for us to drive us to dinner, the dance, and wherever after. Yes, I was going to spend $500+ on a limo just for the two of us for homecoming. You know what? I respect the hustle 17-year-old Mitch was on. You're going to show this girl you're going to do whatever it takes to be with her. Do so with style. But in all retrospective, homecoming was really supposed to be getting to know more about Taylor, seeing what she's like in person, seeing if we can indeed groove into chemistry, and really just a night for us. There wasn't no slimy agenda like most high school guys were on. It was supposed to be a genuine, wholesome, loving night. As who knows, maybe I could kiss her at least on the cheek at the end of the night. I feel kissing her was out of reach, first day and whatnot. But a kiss on the cheek, it could happen, You never know. And this was before like Uber was. So if you're wondering why did you just take Uber? Uber wasn't invented during this time, bro. So if you wanted to drive around with a girl in somebody else's car, you had to go big like a limo. Unfortunately, literally on my birthday, Taylor's mother decided she must go to my school's homecoming with Melanie and her friends 2 days before my school's homecoming. I was so damn pissed off. One, I had zero desire to go to my school's homecoming. I hated my school, couldn't stand the people. They made my life a living hell. Two, the last thing I wanted was to go to homecoming with Taylor with other people involved. I wanted this night to be exclusive to us with zero distractions. But I understand, given Taylor's history, why her mother wasn't fully on board, trusting her daughter to be alone with a guy in a limo for the night. So I understand from her perspective, but good God. She really wrecked a very romantic night. I met her mother for the first time. She loved me. Oh my gosh, she loved me. She immediately texted Taylor and went, "Oh my God, he's so gorgeous. He's the best looking guy in your entire group." Yeah, mother knows best. And, with all due respect, I know I'm going to trigger my ego a little bit, but I was the hottest guy in that group. There's no debate in that. We all know this. But yeah, I went to homecoming with Taylor, Melanie, Adrian, Lena and her date, Jessica, Nino, Paulina and her date, my sister and her fans. And with all due respect, despite Taylor looking beautiful that night, homecoming was a massive letdown. yeah, the dance was nice, and this milkshake I had from Cold Stone was great, but bro, it was so freaking boring. These people were so freaking boring, waiting out in a hotel lobby, waiting for a hotel room to go to a hotel after party, kickback or whatever. These people, God forbid, I was so freaking pissed because I would have, there's one thing I hate about people, bro. It's unorganization, no structure. Can't stand those types of people. I understand I'm a very indecisive person where I have to plan 3 months ahead of time to get everything truly organized and everything, but I need organization. This whole like, oh yeah, this thing is happening. Let's go with this. Like, bro, is it happening or not? You know what I mean? I hate this organization. I've turned into my mother. I hate this organization. But yeah, but what a waste of $500. And to all, you know what? I'm gonna name them. Let's name them again. Melanie Renato, Adrian Mercado, Lena. I don't remember her date's name. Let's say her date's name. Jessica Lozano, Nino Flores, Paulina, and her date. You owe me 500. You still owe me money. You still owe me money. This $500 was not for you guys. It was for me and Taylor. You guys somehow got in the picture. Pay the F up. I don't care if it's been 11 years. Pay the F up. Still triggered. Still triggered. Is Mitch really serious? Is he joking? Who knows if I'm serious or joking, but I need some compensation. But yeah, me and Taylor after homecoming, man, we would have a pretty grand adventure going forward. Whether it be making songs about her, performing a song written for her live at the Sierra Vista's Got Talent show, baking cookies together at her house, spending Christmas together, going out to Melanie's birthday dinner, taking her to the Alicia Keys Miguel concert. Yeah, when you're rolling with me, you get lavish things like concerts. It's awesome to be a friend or romantically invested in me. It's awesome. You get treated lovely. April Cinco's birthday party. Heck, I transferred to the same school as her to just be closer to her for a week. That's how much of a hopeless romantic I was, man. I was like, yes, I need to be with you. I'm going to transfer to your school to be closer to you. Bro, 17-year-old Mitch was on a whole other wave that, that's what I love about me. It's like I'm living out Hollywood movies that people can never do, and I was able to do that. Unbelievable, bro. But yeah, I tell you, man, me and Taylor, man, we sure had a lot of fun together that year, man. It was a lot of yes, there was drama, but frick, we did so much stuff together. Oh my god, it's like we should have been in a relationship or something. But the grand adventure of all that year, oh boy. Another man messing with the same girl, same girl. This man was an acquaintance of mine, as he too liked Taylor. As whatever reason, Taylor liked him too. Oh god. Now, I've known this man for years, as I know his antics and his intentions he has for women. This is the last person I wanted her to be with. Not because I didn't want her to be with someone else. I could care less. It's because I genuinely cared about Taylor and wanted to make sure she's not being misused for any reason. I wanted her to be safe. I don't want any tears being involved. I genuinely care about this woman. And when it comes, Dominic Cardenas. I had a crush on Vicky, and I set them up because I trusted Dominic with Vicky. I trusted her with him, So I'm not like this, like shallow, like if you can't be with me, no one else would be. Like, nah, bro. I want women to be happy. I want women to be in committed relationships. I want them to be in great spirits. I'm not this disgusting, like, if you can't be with him, because you need to be with me kind of guy. I wasn't like that, and that's what it was here. I'm like, I already know what this guy wanted with Taylor, and I'm like, no, do not do this. And eventually Taylor picked him over me. Tragedy. A moment of silence for this tragic moment. However, man, even if she picked him over me, I was supportive, as I hoped for the best for her and just wanted her to be happy. I was very supportive. That man clowned me for being supportive of them, which that was messed up. But man, I was very supportive. But she liked the bad boys that time. So, I gotta hope for the best. However, that relationship ended in a couple weeks simply because, well, I told her what would happen, and of course it did happen. So, I told you so. So, since she was broken up and Valentine's Day was coming up, I simply asked her, "Hey, girl, can I come over your house and kiss you on the cheek?" She's like laughing. Is like, "Why?" And I'm like, "Because it's Valentine's Day." It's Valentine's Day. That's what people do on Valentine's Day. They get all lovey-dovey. And oddly enough, she said yes. Bro, you wouldn't believe how hyped I was. Like, I couldn't believe it. And it's like, well, it's just a kiss on the cheek. Bro, I was a hopeless romantic. Any form of affection was big deal for me, man. I was like, yes. So I did went over her house. We talked a bit. Then we took a picture together where I kissed her cheek. I tell you, man, that was an awesome day for me. Not because I kissed her on the cheek and whatnot, but we talked and laughed for a good 20 to 30 minutes, man. It was just very wholesome. It was a very wholesome, beautiful Valentine's Day. I posted that picture on the gram feeling like a badass, which whatever reason she posted the picture on her Instagram too. Yeah, I'm confused because it's like, girl, you don't want to be in a relationship with me, but you're posting this picture of me kissing you on the cheek. What are you trying to tell me, girl? I don't get it. And when she posted that, bro, all hell broke loose because her ex, he commented on the post, which then led to him threatening me on Twitter because he mistaken me tweeting out Drake started from the bottom lyrics. I'm worried about me, get the F about me. It's like, okay, buddy, you're going to be dead this week at school. It's like, bro, I'm tweeting Drake lyrics. Leave me alone. This has nothing to do with you. But bro, he wanted to kill me, man. Could you imagine? Cause of death. Murdered over kissing one's ex on the cheek. That would be the most legendary death, especially for my up and coming rap career. Like, probably those rap videos made in the garage would have made like probably like 30,000 plus views. That the honor and the memory of Mitch. We are going to listen to Rack's remix, a once potential rapper gone too soon, over kissing a girl on the cheek. Oh my God. That does perfectly summarize my life, though. It was crazy, man. Had the homies lining up, protecting me. It's like, hey, you ain't touching Mitch. You not touching Mitch. Bobby Bennett. Hey, you ain't touching Mitch. Jacob Gomez. Hey, you ain't touching Mitch. Louis, Yogi, bro. He's like, bro, I will die for you, Mitch. Man, I give people in Sierra Vista a bad rep, but sometimes, man, you guys were there for me when it mattered most, and I appreciate y'all, man. But yeah, man, Taylor's mom got involved, calling the school. It's like, Mitch is in trouble. Make sure you do not have a finger laid on him. Oh, man, what a time to be alive, man. What a time to be in life, man. Hold on, man. I got phlegm for talking too much. I feel during that time in Taylor's life, during that whole year and whatnot, she was just a bit confusing. Because, she would be, like, dropping, like, these, like, weird mixed messages. Like, if you weren't so quiet all the time, we can go out sometime. And you know what you know that was very confusing because I wasn't that quiet in person. The way I am structured as a human being when it comes to socializing and communication, if there's nothing left to be said or I have nothing to say, I'm just quiet. I just don't say anything until, there's something to talk about because quite frankly, I'm not really interested in a lot of things. Like I can't have these boring conversations like, "So, did you heard about Shirley's operation with Henry today and Henry going to the Epic Museum of the socializing?" I'm like, I don't care about these conversations, these boring like small talk. I could care less. I care. The things I like talking about is movies, music, sports, and whatever. I don't know, but but yeah, I don't get it. I was very confused. But yeah, she would throw in these mixed messaging, and you're just like, and then all of a sudden she'd be like, "Oh, when did I ever say that, man? I never said that." It's like, girl, I have the text message that says it. I don't know, man. Taylor was very, very confusing. She was a very confusing girl, and especially when it came to me being interested in other women, she just had a problem with it. And the first time, we fell off as like being friends and whatnot. It was around post Christmas time, and then she was dissing the girls I was dating. It's like, "Oh, Mitch, you're just dating. Oh man, you dating all these ugly ass women." I was like, what? It's like it. Honestly, that really hurt me, man. It really hurt me because I was always supportive through every relationship Taylor got into, and the fact that she couldn't give me that same respect, man, it really hurt me. But here's the thing, man. As we were talking about, like potentially dating, mixed messaging, you know, if you don't like me being with other women, say it because Taylor knew what kind of power she had during that time, bruh. Because I tweeted it out, man. If there ever comes a time where Taylor wanted to date me and I was dating another woman, I would drop her ass immediately and go to her. And during this time, man, she would have been a lifesaver because, girl, man, I was dating a very toxic person. Why didn't you save me? And if you had the same feelings, just say it. I don't know, man. I don't know what happened. But man, we fell off. I'm like, nope, I'm cutting you off, man. I'm cutting you off. Yo, that was an epic fall off because, bro, I literally burned a bunch of pictures of us. I was like, I need to relieve myself of this negative, toxic energy and go forward a life without terror. Which, honestly, man, the first month not having terror in my life, man, I was so freaking upset, man. I was really upset, man, because I missed her, man. I missed her. And, and my the current girlfriend I was dating with at the time, man, she got mad at me. She's like, "Man, you missed that girl. Go talk to her." And, my sister, because, it wasn't about, like, I missed her, like, romantically missing her speaking. I missed her as a friend because me and Taylor were great friends. We talked every single freaking day. We had so much in common. She was a great friend of me, and I was a great friend of her, and this really wrecked me. So it wasn't about, like, missing her romantically speaking. It was just missing her as a friend, man. And my sister's like, "Yo, give me your girlfriend's number." It's like, why? He's like, "Give me your girlfriend's number." And she literally dissed the living crap out of her. She's like, "Listen here, girl. You're lucky. As a matter of fact, you're blessed to be with my brother Mitch. If you try to make him go through these unnecessary problems, we're going to have a problem for ourselves. You understand me?" Man, I tell you, man, sometimes back then, it sometimes felt like my sister didn't care for me, but she just come out of the woodworks and be like, "Nah, I'm going to beat the living crap out this woman that's not treating you right." It was nice to have two bodyguards, two girl bodyguards back in the day, man. Alyssa Salino, my sister, man. God bless you both. But yeah, man, it was rough, man. That first month, man. But yeah, that entire, those couple years, I think, yeah, like year and a half without Taylor in my life, man. I just felt I felt, I felt incomplete as a person. I will say my life moving forward regarding senior year, regarding I was having a lot of fun, but I miss my buddy, man. I miss Taylor. I miss my great friend and whatnot. And then later on, you know, 2015, I reached out to her, reconnected, followed her on Twitter, and then we became buddies again. The first time we reunited, I was at a Bryson Tiller concert and I saw her with another man. And then after the concert, I literally went up to her. She said hi, and she was extremely happy. She couldn't talk long, but you could tell in her eyes. It was her reaction was like seeing a ghost. It's like, oh my God, Mitch, oh my God, and it was a beautiful moment. It was a surely beautiful moment. She's like, I want to talk to you soon. I want to see you soon. Okay. Because she couldn't say too much because she was with another man at the time. But yeah, that whole Bryson Tiller moment was that felt like a Hollywood scene moment. And then later on during the year, I cut her off again because she didn't say happy birthday to me. And I felt like the second fell off between me and her. It wasn't justified. It was because, me and her, it doesn't feel justified because this was really my fault. It's like, the thing that I've always cherished about our friendship is all the lessons I've learned over the course of my development as a human being. You know what I mean? Like, I've learned a great deal of life lessons that have always reshaped me as a person, whether it be what my self-worth would be as a person, how I'm supposed to be treated, appreciated, and how I'm supposed to, maintain patience, positivity, but also in this case, the second time I cut her off, to communicate my problems. Like, hey, if I have an issue with the lack of appreciation and whatnot, communicate those problems. Because Taylor didn't know anything, she had her own life to live. She had her own problems to deal with. And, I felt horrible. To this day, I felt horrible because, it's like, we lost a couple of years in our life during that time. And, again, reach back out to her, follow her, and then we became buddies again. But we knew our boundaries. We knew where to not go out of balance and whatnot. But yeah, it's just crazy that we've lost like a good 2 to 3 years of our beloved friendship. To God knows what would have happened to our lives if we stood around. That we learned to appreciate one another, to learn how to communicate. This stuff keeps you up at night, man, because it's like, man, just imagine where we would have been in our lives, man. But yeah, the last time I saw her, man, God forbid this phlegm. I can't stand living in Vegas. Your mouth gets dry instantly. Anyhow, I was at Stoney's with my sister, Paul, and Mariana. Mariana was getting over a breakup, so we helped comfort her during that time. And I was like, being at this country bar makes me think of you or whatnot. And it's like, where are you at, Mitch? It's like, I'm at Stoney's. I'm like, yo, I'm at Town Square watching a movie with my friend right now. I was like, bro, I bolted out of Stoney's and ran to the movie theater. I ran to the movie theater, waited outside just to see her. Man, because in a way, man, I feel like during that time, man, I've always had feelings for her, man. The love has never been lost. Despite, the history and whatnot, it's like, man, I've always wanted to be with her. So it's like, you got an opportunity to see this past love of yours, your first love. Because Taylor was my first love, man. I understand Abby Sundell was a massive obsession in elementary school. But as far as, like, wholesomely love somebody that I could consider myself wanting to be with for the rest of my life, that I wanted to marry and whatnot. This was my first love. So I waited like good 20, 25 minutes for her to come out the door. And, we reunited, talked a bit, saying how happy I was for her to be in a relationship with my homie. It felt like old times. And, where we're at in our lives, man, somehow it seems like, when you look back on all the years, you feel like I met the right person, but at the wrong time. Because I feel like sometimes when you think about why couldn't Taylor date me or whatnot, it's because, at the time I was a bit unstable as a human being. Like, I was going through depression, I was going through suicide tendencies. So it felt like maybe an immense amount of pressure on Taylor. It's like, oh, I don't want to do anything wrong. I don't want to hurt this person or eventually breaking up the person, leading to something horrible, which thankfully that never has happened to me, especially when I was in depression from my first breakup relationship in senior year of high school. I was just very upset, cried a couple days, and then got back on my feet. But yeah, I can understand from her perspective. All the criticism against Taylor doesn't feel totally justified. I understand people were looking out for me and wanted the best for me, but at the end of the day, this was a 15, 16-year-old sophomore girl, junior in high school. Of course you're going to have some woes in your early development where you're not fully terms of grasp, like, oh, look at what all he's doing for you as a person, that not only showering you with gifts but make you feel loved as a person, generally speaking, and not trying to gain something out of it in the mix. So I feel like when it comes to the criticism of Taylor during her younger years, I feel like it was a bit harsh. I do feel like it's a bit harsh because what do you expect from a teenage girl? What do you expect? There's not a handful of teenage girls that are like vastly matured in that regard to where you can learn to appreciate somebody wholly without getting their feelings hurt and whatnot. So I feel like, people need to learn to be more understanding and learn to forgive, because I've forgiven Taylor for all she's done in the past. At the end of the day, man, Taylor was a extremely great friend of mine that actually genuinely cared about me, like I genuinely cared about her. There was, me and Taylor's friendship is like a dysfunctional relationship. It's just like, there's a great deal of love within us, and there's a great deal of confusion and conflict and drama, which doesn't feel like understood in any way. So it's like, just right person at the wrong time. And I feel like, was there any time in which during that early year span, like if we would have gotten a relationship, how far it would have taken? I'm gonna say right now, it probably would have been either end result in high school sweetheart marriage or shockingly divorce. Because either way, I feel like we would have been in it for the long haul. But it is what it is, man. But where we're at in our lives, man, she's doing great. Oh, man, she made a miraculous recovery that, man, she has like an incredible testimony to her faith in Christ and God and whatnot. And for her to overcome those health obstacles, man, it's just, I couldn't believe it. And I'm glad, we always tell like, oh man, you need to come out and open about your personal life and whatnot. But when it comes to that, man, sometimes you do need to keep it private, and sometimes you need to go like this film called The Farewell A24 with Aquafina lead star. Sometimes it's just like, yeah, we don't want anybody to know or anybody to know anything, because somehow knowing about the disease can cause a great amount of stress to where your body can endure weakness. And I feel like, for her to keep that in tide, it's very miraculous. But I'm extremely blessed and very happy for her recovery, because honestly, man, I wouldn't know what to do with my life knowing that Taylor would be gone from this universe. You know, at the end of the day, she still is a great friend of mine. But yeah, during like our older years as adults, man, we just have a very stable, solid friendship. She's been with a man now for like a few plus years, and it's the first time. I feel like it's the first time in Taylor's like romantic venture. I mean, I think she dated one nice guy in like her junior year, that one guy early on in the year. But it feels like for the first time she's dating a very sweet, genuine person that truly loves her through and through. That's just an extremely nice guy, and he does. You know, I get it. I'm going to boost my ego, but it feels like he's similar to me in a way, as far as being this very extremely supportive, sweet, unconditionally loving person to someone. And I'm just very happy for her to find somebody like that. I've been supportive through all her relationship, but this one just feels special in a way, especially what he's been through with her in terms of her health wise. And it's just beautiful to hear her progression, but to hear that she's in a beautiful unconditional relationship. Shouts out Kyle, man. Shouts out Kyle, man. Thank you for protecting and taking care of my great friend, awesome friend, Taylor, throughout these years, man. You are truly appreciative. And I'm anticipating y'all to get married in due time. I don't know when the wedding is going to be, but yeah, Taylor, you already know that the maid of honor letter is going to be in my mailbox. No Patrick Dempsey. Oh man, I can't wait for that day, man. Whether it be with Kyle or whether it be with anybody, but we wanted to beat Kyle, man. We're rooting for Kyle. We're rooting for anybody that's yearning towards an unconditional loving marriage, because that's really our moral purpose in life, is to unconditionally love somebody. But yeah, man, we've matured, we've grown up over the years, and I feel like our friendship has really taught us some very valuable lessons and really has helped develop us as to human beings. And I talk to Taylor every now and then. We understand our boundaries. We understand that we have our life, our own lives to live. But man, she was a big help in 2020, man. She was a big help in 2020, man. We talked about some like political, religious stuff. I was very surprised she was kind of like the same boat and whatnot. I was like, damn, you're based like me. Well, we're great friends for a reason. We have great minds think alike for a reason. But yeah, man, you look back in this entire romantic venture. You look back at our lives as a whole, and you're just like, I feel so grateful and I feel so blessed and appreciative. I got to have Taylor in my life as far as her existence and well-being. She has been one of the highlights of my entire life, honestly. I'm so blessed that we get to celebrate another year of Taylor's life, man. Happy born day, Taylor, the big 2-6. Hell yeah. I hope everyone is doing well over in Taylor's family, whatnot. Melanie, I hope you're doing well. Kiani, I miss you. And I miss you being that small, innocent, quiet child that reminded me of myself. It's like, oh, she's like a little me. Oh my God, I love Kiani. Hope she's doing well. I hope Taylor's grandmother slash Melania's mother's doing well. I hope Taylor's mother's doing well. Still gorgeous as ever. Still gorgeous as ever. Yeah, I just hope everybody's doing well. Kyle especially. I hope you're doing well. Hope you're anticipating, planning, and pre-costing the marriage ring. We hope that comes in play. You already know I'm about to be there. Maid of honor invitation coming my way. No Patrick Dempsey. And man, you know, thing about Taylor always brings me in a very emotional state of mind, whether it be emotionally happy or emotionally in tears of sadness, you know. But yeah, man, I love Taylor, man. Still love her to this day. He's like, oh, you're trying to sabotage. No, not trying to sabotage. Not trying to be like, you know, I remember Mitch back in the day, and I remember all he's done to me. You know what? No, I'm not doing that. We're not doing that. But I will say one of the key moments when it comes to me passing on from this life is being able to be in like a beautiful cloud setting and where me and God and me and Christ are watching what life would have been like if me and her would have gotten a relationship. As I'm gonna be in tears and whatnot, seeing that's my idea of heaven, man. Just like seeing what life could have been like if I was in relationships with all these women I've loved in the past. That's my idea of heaven. You know, yes, I'm weird like that, but you know, but her especially though. Her especially, I'm gonna hold back some tears right now. But yeah, Taylor has meant the world to me, man. I'm so proud of all she is, all she's done, proud of what she is as a person, and as I wish her a blessed, great 26 year of life. And Kyle, please get that marriage proposal on the way. Get it on the way. I love you, Taylor. I love your family. Love everybody. God bless. And man, this is the conclusion of an hour and a half episode of I Do What I Do. And you know what we're going to do, man? We're going to try to find love of our own through this, man. And listen to Drake music along the way. I do what I do. Take care, y'all.